you are hearing these words right now, it is because God has orchestrated this exact second to arrest your attention. You have been through pressure that tried to crush your faith, delays that tested your patience, and silence that made you question whether your prayers were still reaching heaven. But hear this, with every fiber of your soul, God is about to blow your mind with a comeback so powerful, so unexpected, so overwhelming that even those who doubted you will have no choice but to acknowledge that the hand of God is upon your life. This is not hype. This is not fantasy. This is the divine pattern of God revealed throughout time. When it looks finished, God is just getting started. You did not survive what you went through by accident. The tears you cried in secret were not wasted. The nights you lay awake wondering how you would recover were not signs of weakness. They were evidence that God was strengthening your inner being while everything on the outside looked fragile. God has been working in hidden places, shaping your character, expanding your capacity, and aligning circumstances that you cannot yet see. What you thought was a setback was actually God repositioning you for a comeback that will defy logic and silence fear. God never delays without a purpose, and He never prepares without an intention to reveal His power. There are seasons when God allows things to fall apart, not because He has abandoned you, but because He is about to rebuild you on a higher level. You were too comfortable with what was familiar, too attached to what was predictable. God loves you too much to leave you small, limited, or confined to yesterday's victories. So He allowed pressure. He allowed separation. He allowed misunderstanding. And while others thought you were losing ground, God was expanding your territory in ways you could not yet comprehend. The comeback God is preparing is not merely to restore what you lost. It is to elevate you beyond what you ever imagined. You must understand this truth deeply. God specializes in sudden turnarounds. One moment you are overlooked, and the next moment you are undeniable. One moment doors are closed, and the next moment opportunities appear that you never applied for. This is how God works. He waits until human strength is exhausted so that His power can be revealed without confusion. When your comeback happens, there will be no doubt that it was God who did it. No strategy, no connection, no human manipulation will be able to take the credit. God is setting the stage so that only His glory will be seen. Right now, you may feel tired. Your faith may feel stretched, thin. But do not mistake fatigue for failure. The greatest breakthroughs often come when you are on the edge of exhaustion. God allows you to reach the end of yourself so you can finally rely fully on Him. Your comeback is not dependent on how strong you feel today. It is dependent on how faithful God has always been. And God has never failed. Not once, not ever. There are people who counted you out. They assumed your season was over. They misinterpreted your silence as surrender and your patience as weakness. But God heard every word spoken against you, and He recorded every tear that fell from your eyes. God is not indifferent to injustice, and He is not blind to perseverance. When God decides to lift you, no opinion can hold you down. When God decides to restore you, no history can disqualify you. The same God who allowed the test is now releasing the testimony, and it will be louder than the pain you endured. Your comeback will not just change your circumstances, it will change your mindset. God is not only restoring what was taken, He is renewing how you think, how you believe, and how you see yourself. You will no longer beg for what God has already promised. You will no longer shrink to fit places that were never meant to contain you. God is raising your expectations because He is preparing to exceed them. This comeback will bring clarity where there was confusion, and confidence where there was insecurity. There is a reason God allowed you to walk through obscurity. Hidden seasons are not punishment, they are preparation. When you were unseen, God was teaching you how to hear His voice without the noise of applause. When no one was clapping for you, God was teaching you how to trust Him without validation. Now, as He prepares to reveal you, you will not be intoxicated by attention or distracted by praise, because your foundation is built on God alone. That is why this comeback will last. It will not be fragile. It will not be temporary. It will be established by God Himself. Do not rush the process. Do not despise the timing. God is never late and He is never early. He is precise. What feels like delay is divine alignment. God is synchronizing people, resources, and opportunities so that when the door opens, it opens fully. Partial blessings do not satisfy God. He is a God of overflow, a God of abundance, a God who does exceedingly more than what you ask for or imagine. When He moves completely. Your responsibility right now is not to figure out how it will happen, but to stay aligned with God while it is happening. Faith is not controlling outcomes. Faith is trusting God with outcomes. Stop rehearsing worst-case scenarios in your mind. Stop predicting failure based on past disappointment. God is doing a new thing, and new things require new thinking. If you keep expecting disappointment, you will struggle to recognize the miracle when it arrives. Lift your expectations to match the greatness of the God you serve. This comeback will come with authority. You will speak with confidence because you have survived what should have destroyed you. Your voice will carry weight because it is backed by experience, endurance, and divine favor. People will listen differently because they will sense that you have been refined, not ruined. God never wastes suffering. Every challenge you endured is now becoming fuel for the influence He is releasing in your life. Remember this, God does not bring you this far to leave you here. He did not rescue you just to abandon you. He did not preserve you just to disappoint you. The same God who sustained you in the valley is the God who will celebrate you on the mountain. And when you stand there, you will not boast in your strength. You will testify of God's faithfulness. Even now, God is shifting things behind the scenes. Conversations are happening that include your name. Decisions are being made that will favor you. Doors are being unlocked that you did not know existed. God is working in ways that are invisible to you, but undeniable in their impact. This is why you must not give up now. You are closer than you think. The pressure you feel is not a sign of defeat. It is a sign that breakthrough is near. There will be moments when fear tries to speak louder than faith. In those moments, NTS, remind yourself of what God has already brought you through. If He delivered you then, He will deliver you now. If He made a way before, He will make a way again. God is consistent in His character, even when circumstances are inconsistent. Anchor your confidence in who God is, not in what you see. Your comeback is not just for you. God intends to use your story to awaken faith in others. When people see how God restored you, healed you, elevated you, and strengthened you, they will realize that their situation is not hopeless either. Your life will become evidence that God is still active, still powerful, still involved in human affairs. That is why the enemy tried so hard to stop you, but failed. Do not underestimate what God can do in a single moment of favor. Years of loss can be redeemed in an instant. What took years to break can be restored suddenly. God is not bound by time. He compresses seasons. He accelerates outcomes. He redeems what looks irreversible. And when He does, it will feel surreal, like a dream you never want to wake up from. There is a divine tension you feel right now, and it is not confusion, it is anticipation. Your spirit senses that something is shifting, even if your circumstances have not yet caught up. This is how God often moves. He speaks to your inner being before He changes your outer reality. God alerts you first so you don't give up too soon. What you are sensing is not imagination, it is alignment. Heaven is leaning toward your direction, and when God leans in, history changes. You are standing on the edge of a transformation that will redefine how you see yourself, how you see God, and how you see your future. God is not simply restoring you to who you were before the struggle. That version of you did not yet have the wisdom, resilience, or spiritual depth required for where God is taking you. This comeback is about eleva, song, not repetition. God is expanding your spiritual capacity so you can sustain what He is about to release. Many people fail not because they lack blessing, but because they are unprepared to carry it. God has been strengthening you internally so that when success arrives, it does not destroy your peace or corrupt your purpose. This is why the process felt heavy. It was making you strong enough. You must understand that God's favor does not always look like comfort. Sometimes favor looks like endurance. Sometimes favor looks like silence. Sometimes favor looks like doors closing so you don't walk into something that would limit your destiny. God sees what you cannot see. He knows which connections are distractions, which opportunities are traps, and which delays are protection. Your frustration was often God's mercy in disguise. When you look back, you will realize that some of the things you prayed for and didn't receive would have cost you everything. There is a holy separation happening in this season. God is distancing you from environments, conversations, and mindsets that no longer match the future He has designed for you. You may feel misunderstood or isolated, but this is not abandonment, it is refinement. God often removes you from the crowd so He can speak clearly to you. When everyone has access to you, discernment becomes difficult. When God sets you apart, clarity becomes unavoidable. This separation is preparing you to move with authority, not approval. Your comeback will require bold faith, not passive belief. Faith is not quiet agreement, it is courageous alignment. You must align your thoughts, your words, and your actions with what God has already determined. Stop negotiating with doubt. Stop giving fear a voice in your decision making. Fear is loud, but it is not wise. God's guidance may feel challenging, but it is always accurate. Trusting God means moving forward, even when certainty is absent. Obedience often precedes understanding. God is about to reintroduce you to yourself. You will discover strength you didn't know you had, vision you didn't know you could carry, and authority you didn't know was available to you. This is what happens when pressure meets purpose. You were not crushed because God reinforced you from within. What should have broken you actually sharpened you. What was meant to embarrass you is about to elevate you. God has a way of turning wounds into wisdom and pain into power. Do not underestimate the power of consistency in this season. While you wait, remain faithful. While you wait, remain disciplined. While you wait, remain grateful. Gratitude is a spiritual posture that accelerates divine movement. When you thank God before you see the outcome, you are declaring trust in His character. God responds to trust. He responds to surrender. He responds to hearts that believe without conditions. There are divine reversals written into your story. What was spoken against you will not have the final word. What looked like rejection will become redirection. What felt like loss will reveal itself as gain. God is rewriting narratives. He is restoring credibility. He is rebuilding confidence. And when your comeback becomes visible, it will not feel forced. It will feel right. Peace will accompany progress. Clarity will accompany momentum. God is also healing your perception. You will no longer see delays as denial or obstacles as punishment. You will begin to recognize resistance as confirmation that you are moving in the right direction. Opposition often appears when purpose is near. resistance intensifies when destiny approaches. This is why you must not retreat now. You are not being blocked, you are being tested for readiness. God only tests what He intends to trust. Your future will require you to walk with discernment. Not everyone who applauds you is aligned with you. Not every open door is assigned to you. God will sharpen your spiritual awareness so you move intentionally, not impulsively. You will learn to pause, listen, and move when God gives direction. Speed without guidance leads to regret, but movement with God leads to fulfillment. This comeback will teach you to value alignment over acceleration. God is also restoring your voice. You may have silenced yourself in past seasons to survive. You may have learned to shrink so you wouldn't provoke resistance, but that season is ending. God is calling you to speak with conviction, to stand with clarity, and to move with authority. When God restores your voice, He restores your influence. People will be drawn not to your noise, but to your truth. Remember, God is not intimidated by your questions. He is not threatened by your honesty. Bring your doubts to Him, not away from Him. God prefers raw faith over religious performance. He meets you in sincerity, not perfection. And as you continue to seek Him, your faith will mature. You will move from asking for signs to recognizing patterns. You will move from needing reassurance to walking in confidence. This comeback will come with responsibility. Increased favor requires increased integrity. God will bless you, but He will also expect stewardship. How you treat people, how you handle success, how you respond to pressure, all of it matters. God is not only concerned with where you are going, but who you are becoming along the way. Character sustains what talent initiates. Integrity preserves what opportunity introduces. You are stepping into a season where God will honor quiet obedience. The things you did when no one was watching are about to be acknowledged. The prayers whispered in private are about to produce public fruit. God is faithful to our inward diligence. He does not overlook faithfulness, even when others do. Your consistency has been seen. Your patience has been recorded. Your endurance has been validated. Do not fear change. Change is often the evidence that God is active. When routines shift and comfort dissolves, God is usually making room for expansion. Growth always disrupts familiarity. Trust God enough to let go of what feels safe so you can step into what is purposeful. Comfort maintains the present, but calling requires courage. God is inviting you to choose purpose. There will be moments when your comeback feels overwhelming, not because it is too much, but because it is new. In those moments, remember that God never assigns what He does not empower. If He brings you to it, He will equip you for it. Grace will meet you at every level. Strength will rise when demand increases. God's provision always matches His assignment. Stay anchored in humility. Humility keeps you teachable. Humility keeps you grounded. Humility keeps you aligned with God's voice. When success comes, do not forget who sustained you when no one believed in you. Gratitude protects you from arrogance, and remembrance protects you from distraction. Keep your focus on God, not on applause. This is a defining chapter. What you do now will echo into your future. Choose faith over fear. Choose obedience over comfort. Choose trust over control. God is not asking you to have all the answers. He is asking you to take the next step. Direction often unfolds after movement begins. Your comeback is unfolding even now. It is not delayed. It is not canceled. It is not diminished. It is active. God is faithful to complete what He has begun. Stand firm, stay expectant, remain aligned. God is about to reveal why this season required such depth, such patience, and such faith. And when the revelation comes, it will not only make sense, it will make you stronger, wiser, and unshakably confident in the power and faithfulness of God. There is a sacred courage rising within you, and it did not come from confidence in yourself. It came from prolonged dependence on God. When everything else was stripped away, God remained, and in that space something unshakable was formed. You are no longer driven by desperation, but by discernment. You no longer chase validation, but walk with conviction. This is the internal shift that precedes a visible comeback. Before God changes what surrounds you, He stabilizes what sustains you. That is why this next season will not be chaotic. It will be ordered, intentional, and governed by clarity. God is teaching you how to move without announcing every step. Not every victory needs to be explained, and not every blessing needs to be defended. Silence is sometimes the language of strength. When God elevates you, He also teaches you restraint, because not everyone deserves access to your process. Some people only want to witness outcomes, not honor journeys. God is protecting what He is building in you by limiting who can speak into it. This restraint is not isolation, it is wisdom. You are also learning that obedience is not always dramatic. Sometimes it is choosing discipline over distraction. Sometimes it is choosing patience over impulse. Sometimes it is choosing peace over being right. God values quiet obedience as much as bold faith. In fact, it is often the unseen obedience that unlocks the most visible breakthroughs. Heaven responds to consistency, not performance. And God, who sees what is hidden, rewards what is faithful. There is a recalibration happening in your desires. Things that once excited you no longer satisfy you. Goals that once defined you now feel incomplete. This is not loss of passion, it is refinement of purpose. God is aligning your desires with your deed. Stymie. When your appetite changes, your direction changes. You are no longer driven by urgency, but by alignment. That shift alone will save you years of regret and reposition you for lasting fulfillment. God is also teaching you how to steward peace. Peace is not the absence of pressure, it is the presence of trust. You have learned that panic never produces solutions, but trust opens doors. Even when uncertainty remains, your spirit is steady because your confidence is anchored in God's sovereignty. This peace will become your strength. It will guide your decisions, guard your emotions, and govern your reactions. In a world driven by anxiety, your calm will become your testimony. Your comeback will not require you to prove anything to anyone. God is removing the need for comparison from your heart. Comparison distorts perspective and steals joy. God has designed your path with precision, and no one else's timeline has authority over it. When you stop measuring yourself against others, you free yourself to fully embrace what God is doing uniquely through you. Your assignment does not compete, it complements. Your success does not threaten, it contributes. There is also a sharpening of spiritual perception taking place. You are becoming more sensitive to God's direction and less influenced by emotional noise. You are learning to pause before reacting, to listen before speaking, and to seek God before deciding. This discernment will protect you from unnecessary battles and misaligned alliances. Not every opportunity is a blessing, and not every challenge is an obstacle. God is teaching you how to tell the difference. Your history no longer defines your limits. God has redeemed your past by extracting wisdom from it. What once brought shame now brings clarity. What once caused regret now fuels responsibility. God never wastes experience. He transforms it. Your story wide, they'll be marked not by where you fell, but by how God raised you. And when you speak, your words will carry authority because they are rooted in truth, not theory. There will be moments when your faith is tested by success. Prosperity can be as challenging as adversity if your heart is not anchored. God is preparing you to remain grounded when elevation comes. That is why humility has been emphasized in your process. Humility keeps your hands open, open to give, open to receive, open to be corrected. God can trust those who remain humble under pressure and gracious under praise. Do not underestimate the power of obedience in small things. God often uses ordinary faithfulness to unlock extraordinary outcomes. Showing up when it's inconvenient, staying honest when compromise would be easier, continuing to believe when results are delayed. These choices shape your spiritual authority. Authority is not granted by position, it is earned through alignment with God's will. And that authority will accompany your comeback. You are entering a season where your faith will produce momentum. What once required effort will now flow with grace. What once felt heavy will now feel purposeful. This does not mean challenges disappear. It means they no longer dominate your perspective. You will face them with confidence, knowing that God has already gone before you. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to trust God beyond it. God is also restoring joy, not superficial happiness, but deep-rooted joy that remains steady regardless of circumstance. This joy will strengthen you, energize you, and remind you why the journey matters. Joy is a sign of alignment. When your spirit rejoices even before outcomes change, it is evidence that your trust is genuine. God delights in hearts that rejoice in Him, not just in results. Your comeback will redefine your boundaries. You will lead. RN, when to say no without guilt and when to say yes without fear. Boundaries protect purpose. God is teaching you to honor your capacity so you can sustain your calling. Exhaustion is not a badge of honor. Rest is not a lack of faith. God values stewardship of your energy as much as stewardship of your resources. Balance will become part of your testimony. As God continues to elevate you, He will also refine your motives. Why you do what you do matters. Motives determine longevity. When your intentions align with God's heart, your impact multiplies. God is not just interested in what you achieve, but in how you achieve it. Integrity will become your signature. Consistency will become your reputation. Faithfulness will become your foundation. Do not fear the responsibility that comes with growth. Responsibility is a sign of trust. God entrusts more to those who have proven faithful with less. You are being entrusted because you have been refined. You have been tested and found willing. God does not rush trust, He builds it. And now, what He is placing in your hands will require wisdom, patience, and continued dependence on Him. This season is teaching you how to walk by faith, not emotion. Emotions fluctuate, but faith stands firm. You are learning to respond rather than react, to believe rather than assume, to trust rather than control. Control creates anxiety, but surrender creates peace. God is not asking you to manage outcomes. He is asking you to manage obedience. Your comeback will be unmistakable, but it will also be meaningful. It will not just change your position, it will deepen your purpose. It will not just increase your influence, it will refine your impact. And through it all, your confidence will not be in what you have gained, but in who God has proven Himself to be. There is a divine urgency awakening within you, not to rush, but to rise. God is awa, kenning your awareness to the fact that time is precious and purpose is intentional. You are no longer wandering, guessing, or reacting. You are becoming deliberate. This is the mark of spiritual maturity. When God prepares a comeback, He also sharpens focus. Distractions lose their power. Noise fades. What once pulled at your attention no longer holds authority over your direction. God is teaching you to move with intention, not impulse, and that shift alone will protect your destiny. God is also revealing the power of surrender in a deeper way. Surrender is not weakness, it is alignment with divine order. When you release control, you make room for precision. God never asks you to surrender so He can diminish you. He asks you to surrender so He can direct you accurately. Control limits vision, but surrender expands it. As you let go of outcomes, timelines, and expectations shaped by fear, God replaces them with confidence rooted in trust. This is how peace becomes unshakable. There is a refinement happening in how you define success. Success is no longer about visibility. It is about obedience. It is no longer about speed. It is about sustainability. God is teaching you that arriving too early can be as dangerous as arriving too late. Timing is not a detail, it is destiny. When God moves you, it will be at the exact moment your character can carry the weight of the assignment. That is why patience has been required. It was not delaying your breakthrough, it was preserving it. God is also teaching you how to withstand misunderstanding. Not everyone will recognize what God is doing in you, and that is not your burden to carry. Misunderstanding often accompanies transformation because people relate to who you were, not who you are becoming. God is strengthening you so that opinions no longer define you and rejection no longer derails you. When your identity is rooted in G-O-D, criticism loses its ability to wound deeply. You begin to move with quiet confidence, anchored in truth rather than approval. There is also a deeper reverence forming in your heart. You are becoming more aware of God's holiness, His wisdom, and His authority. This awareness cultivates humility and discernment. You are learning not to speak carelessly, not to promise impulsively, and not to act without prayerful consideration. Reverence sharpens judgment. It keeps you from treating sacred opportunities casually. God entrusts more to those who honor His presence in every decision. Your comeback will also bring restoration to areas you thought were permanently damaged. God specializes in rebuilding foundations. What was fractured by disappointment, betrayal, or failure is being healed layer by layer. Healing is not always dramatic. Sometimes it is subtle, steady, and silent. But when it is complete, you will realize that you no longer react the way you used to. Triggers lose their grip. Old fears lose their voice. That is the evidence of restoration. God is teaching you to listen more than you speak, to observe more than you assume. Wisdom grows in stillness. In moments of quiet, God clarifies direction. This is why He has drawn you away from constant activity and noise. Silence is not emptiness, it is preparation. In silence, your discernment sharpens, your motives purify, and your faith deepens. God often whispers before He moves publicly. There is also an expansion of compassion taking place. You are becoming more patient with others because you have experienced God's patience with you. You are becoming more gracious because you understand mercy. Compassion does not weaken authority, it strengthens influence. People respond not just to strength, but to authenticity. God is shaping you to lead with truth and empathy, firmness and kindness. That balance will distinguish you. Your comeback will bring opportunities to serve, not just to succeed. God's elevation always carries responsibility toward others. Influence is not given to impress, it is given to impact. God will open doors for you to encourage, guide, and uplift others who are still in the valley you once walked through. Your experience becomes a bridge for their hope. This is how God multiplies purpose. Through shared testimony and lived faith, God is also teaching you how to wait without complaining. Complaining weakens faith because it shifts focus from trust to frustration. Gratitude, even in uncertainty, strengthens your spiritual posture. You are learning to thank God not only for what He has done, but for what He is doing unseen. Gratitude trains your spirit to recognize God's hand even when evidence is not yet visible. There will be moments when your comeback requires courage to walk alone. Popular paths are not always purposeful paths. God sometimes leads His chosen ones through narrow routes so distractions fall away. Loneliness in such seasons is not rejection, it is refinement. God uses solitude to deepen reliance on Him rather than on people. And when alignment is complete, God brings the right people at the right time. God is also reshaping your confidence. This confidence is not loud or arrogant. It is calm and assured. You no longer need to announce your strength because it speaks through your consistency. You no longer need to prove your worth because you understand it is God-given. This confidence allows you to move without comparison, to celebrate others without insecurity, and to remain steady when outcomes fluctuate. Your comeback will also challenge you to forgive deeply. Forgiveness is not approval of wrongdoing. It is release from bondage. Holding resentment ties you to the past, but forgiveness frees you to move forward. God is calling you to act or give not because others deserve it, but because your future requires it. Forgiveness clears emotional space for growth, joy, and peace. God is preparing you for moments of divine acceleration. What once moved slowly will suddenly gain momentum. But acceleration without preparation leads to collapse. That is why God invested time in strengthening your foundation. When speed increases, your stability will hold. You will move quickly without losing balance because your trust is anchored in God, not circumstances. There will be times when you are tempted to look back, to revisit old doors, old habits, old identities. But God is calling you forward. The past may explain you, but it no longer defines you. God's mercy renews identity. You are not bound by yesterday's limitations. Each step forward is a declaration that you trust God's future more than your familiarity with the past. As this comeback unfolds, you will notice a deeper hunger for truth. Superficial answers will no longer satisfy you. You will seek depth, wisdom, and clarity. God responds to hunger. When you seek understanding with sincerity, He reveals insight with generosity. Your spiritual appetite is a sign that growth is active. Remain teachable. Growth never ends. God continues to shape those who remain humble enough to learn. Even at higher levels, correction is a gift, not a threat. God corrects to protect. He guides to preserve. Those who resist correction limit their own expansion. You are learning to welcome instruction as part of advancement. Your comeback is not a destination, it is a doorway. Beyond it lies greater responsibility, deeper faith, and expanded purpose. God is not finished, He is unfolding. Each season builds upon the last. What you are stepping into now is preparation for what is still ahead. Stay faithful in the unseen moments. Stay obedient in the quiet decisions. Stay trusting when clarity is partial. God is faithful to complete what He has begun. And as this transformation continues to take shape, your life will quietly but powerfully declare that when God decides to restore, elevate, and reveal, no force can hinder His will.